Boys and girls, Alex here. Don't freak out. No, I'm not an imposter. It just so happens that my old 90 has died. The last time I tried to take it off, it came off in about 3 or 4 pieces. So it has, for all it's worth, there you have it, has earned its own place of glory. It's got its own little box now, signed up. Unfortunately, no video in making the box because I had to make the 90. The 90 was already not usable, and censors might not allow me to make a video in the raw, or even if they did, you wouldn't like it. Anyway, this video is hopefully an extension to my Carvex upside down cutting table, whereby you can see it's mounted in the jig. That's it. Now, one of the things I wanted to do is, the concept came to mind that how about making it a circle cutter. Now, I've noticed that there's been a lot of videos about the Carvex circle cutting jig. However, it's designed to cut an arc. How do you cut a circle? And I thought to myself, well, yeah, I've got my bandsaw, I've got my router, I've got a few others. Not everybody else has it, so let's see if it's a viable project. The problem is going to be is making the starting point for the circle. The thing I'm going to do, the plan is, hang on, I've got that on there for weight. What I plan to do is use these UJK Path relocator dogs to set up my ruler. Now, hopefully this will work. This way I can get, come on baby, I can get two more holes in this one here. Now, as I said, I've cut about, maybe I haven't said it, I've cut about 20 mil off the original piece here, just so the two holes here can be located closer to it, thereby minimising the size of this extra outfeed. I don't want a big monster. So hopefully, everything being equal, have I got everything? I should have. So I should be able to use this little doobie. Come on baby. So I say the bloody tolerances of this UJK system is so tight that now I'm not worried about going through, because if I do, my dog holes line up anyway. Yeah, they're so tight that you haven't got room to play. Now, everything being equal, I should be able to do that. Now, what I'll do is I'll relocate these units so I can drill the other two holes up there. That's going to be tricky. No, it won't if I do it properly. Look, I'll do that off camera. There's no use wasting footage just because I'm going to do the same thing except along there. The holes have been drilled, so now I'll have to move shop to one of the other tables because I don't particularly want to drill through this tabletop, so I can now use my relocator, these little pins here. Well, where did I put the bloody things? I always, here we are. Can probably use those as a guide to drill these other holes. Look, I might put the video up, I don't know yet, but we'll see. And when we move along, I think I have to use the what the hell do I have to use for the other two? Anyway, we'll see what I might have to move the jig around. We'll see. In fact, I think I will. But anyway, that's my problem. As I said, I'll go to the other table to set this up. Here I am set up at the other table. Not having the holes there, what I've done is I've used these large dogs to line this up, anchor it. Then I put the ruler in, located these two pins, brought this one up against it, and because that's how it's already been measured, located with one pin. Either one would have done. That one seems a little bit safer. However, I have tested that this pin locates as well, which means that they have been lined up properly. What I've now done is clamped it with this monster clamp, and geez, I'm bloody glad I've got them. No idea where I got them from, but the reach of that is great. Clamp that down on here, so that piece is secure now. This is locked down with that, so I hopefully, everything being equal now, I'm ready to, well, move that aside. Here you get a better look of the new 90. Bring that across, put that in the hole and do that. I've got to now adjust the depth of this because I'm not sure what the depth of this is. Oh no, it should go all the way through, and because of the fact that the holes line up properly, hopefully it's not going to bugger up the holes underneath. So everything being absolutely equal, I should be able to, and now you'll appreciate why I love this UJK path system. UJK, yeah. Path system. Now they're now located. I need the drill, dust extraction. Look, I'll get the camera on the other side and at least take a shot of one hole. Okay, here we go. Attach the drill. Bloody fiddly bastard. Turn the dusty on. Dusty off, detach the drill, and let's take that out, and let's just hope we've gone all the way through, which we haven't, only because the plug was still in the way. Okay, let's try the next hole. I hope this will work. Goes there. It should line up with that. Plug, plug, dusty. Turn it on. That's it. Now, Again, the plug is still there because it didn't cut all the way through. However, I've just poked it out. The other side I don't care too much about. Let's relocate these. I didn't take a picture of the last two holes as the camera was in the way. I relocated it and then, damn, I just couldn't be bothered turning it back on. But look, it was no different to the others. Now, everything being equal, I've used extra dogs to hold everything down. I'll have to put these away. They're all my spares. Pop those out. That should be ready. They should be ready for chamfering. The TSOs can come out. Let's see what the bottom looks like. Nothing much, but look, I'll get out the TSO chamfering bit. There we go. That, slap it into the Makita. Put it over the edge. Got them set up side by side. I haven't trimmed this off. I'm hoping, and there's my T-square, I'm hoping to cut that short, something like that. So this will just be a fairly narrow strip that I can then move along. Now the next thing to do is probably mount the saw, which is a bugger because I've put this too far back to mount it, and finish up with a T-track in this going across, and I'm just going to fudge it and put it to the middle of the blade. It's a narrow blade. It's about what is it? 1.6 by 6.5, 1.6 wide, thick, 6.5 wide. The length is neither here nor there. The problem with that is when you consider that roughly that's going to be the size of this plank. The length of this bigger radius, diameter or whatever of the circle is immaterial, because I can move this out as far as I like in multiples of 89 mil, and the T-track will cover all the bits and pieces in between. However, it looks as though it's only going to, because I might encroach into this by about an inch or two, or to be really more precise, 50 mil, so the T-track might actually cut in there, and when I bring it over, hang in there, and if I don't use it, I might use a little plug. I don't know yet. We should make, if this is now 120, if I go in by 50 mil, that'll, no, I don't know whether I want to go in by 50, but if I did, that'd still make it 120, 50, 70. The smallest diameter I could make is 140. Now, I don't know whether I want to actually try and cut something that small on here, because bear in mind that you've got to keep pressure on it, because the blade is going to jog it up and down, and when you're free cutting with your hand, you can use both hands to hold it down, but here you can't really. Well, I don't know whether you can hold it down on that side, depending, but I'd be more inclined to keep the pressure on this side one-handed, so a small piece doesn't really turn me on. So look, what I might do, as I said, I might go in 50mm and leave it at that. Yeah, but the thing I'm going to now do is, as I said, I'll have to move this whole lot up. I'm going to trim this down to, as I said, roughly something like that. That to me is a fair indicator of what I want. Because that gives me enough beef either side for these clamps to hold down, although I could even make it shallower, but that'll do me. Polish it up. No, well, I won't polish it up until I put the T-track in, or actually I might polish it up before I put the T-track in. And then put a guide, clamp a guide down somewhere so I can run my router to run the T-track. Now, I will try and make the T-track perpendicular to the blade. I mean, that theoretically makes sense. And we'll see. Then the problem is still getting that initial cut into the bit of wood you're about to cut, because if you're pushing with, say, a bandsaw, you tend to push the work in, the bandsaw cuts the leading edge, and then you start spinning. Now, I did think about putting in runners along the side here and another piece like this to clamp on there, so you could then move this up. But then I thought to myself, well, you're working from, this blade is going to be about here. So if you're going to have a big piece here, you've got to be trying to push it in that way, you know, come right back with the leading edge to push. And I thought, nah, I've got enough circle cutters to handle all those awkward places. I've got the bandsaw circle cutter, I've got my router circle cutter, and really if push comes to shove, I can use the Rotex, or the, not the Rotex, the Capex, to mount it on something like a Lazy Susan, and then, I don't know, look, but I think this will do. But again, it's more a proof of concept to hopefully give somebody ideas that haven't got a bandsaw, haven't got router templates. Or the problem I find with router is you've got to do multiple passes, and then you've got to only go down halfway. Otherwise, you're cutting into your strata below. Or you've got to then flip it over, and if you flip it over, you've got to drill the hole right through the piece, which is something I don't like. The bandsaw to me seems ideal, because other than the length of the bandsaw, which is about 35 or 40 mil that it'll cut, I think it might have cut a bit more, but let's just say 40 mil, one go, and that's it, and you're not interfering with anything. Dust collection is none. That's something I've established through my undermount Capex. Look, if I designed it different, I probably could have, I could have moved this board much bigger over to the edge, clamped it on the side so I can get dust extraction under it. But the whole idea is that the jig is designed to be able to butt up against a vertical wall. And that's it. So, and if you're butting it up against the vertical wall, you will not be able to put in dust extraction. Christ, I'm talking a hell of a bloody lot, and it looks like this video is going to be a multi-part series. So probably what would be your best bet is to watch the end part and you'll see what happens. All right, next part.